Hi, I'm William Hitchings with QueerChannel. I'm here in Wilton Manors attending a Candlelight Vigil in memory of Courtney Bright, a 24-year-old lesbian murdered for her orientation.
To all the people who supported us by sending out emails, all the different nonprofit organizations that came together and that are here. And we're doing this in conjunction with them because it's them who support us every day here in our community with the services and the love they provide us. And that's with Etz Hayim, which is the synagogue here, the LGBTQ synagogue. The GLC, the Hayim, it's, yes, okay. The GLCC, and it's now the new Pride Center. It's beautiful, it's a campus, you need to sit there, great. They've been supportive of us since day one. Of course, Pride Greater Fort Lauderdale, who hosts our incredible Halloween party and our street festivals. So, of course, we want to thank Carol and P-Flag, who will be speaking here shortly. And P-Flag's an amazing organization. Yes. So, we are bringing out some water. I think we're, yes. Okay. We'd also like to thank Equality Florida, who fights for our rights up in Florida and throughout the state. Equality Florida. The Pet Project, amazing. People don't realize how important it is that we have them, but it's for people whose pets don't have parents once they're stolen, like Craig Cohen and all his pets. The Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence over here. If you don't know who they are, nationally they have raised over $1 million for different nonprofit organizations. They're an amazing group. And fabulous. Love my sisters. Women in Network, an amazing group. They do so much for our community, and it's unfortunately we've lost one of our lesbian sisters, but WIN's great. Of course, we want to thank Alibi, who sets this up and puts this together and always gives us a place to call home. They're the heart of Wilton Manors, and they're the heart of our community, and so Georgie's and Alibis and all those folks are great. New Moon, Carol up there. We're gonna do a walk up there, and we're gonna thank her. Rosie's Bar and Grill, who's been supportive.
But I'd just like to bring something to your attention. There was a hate crimes bill that was passed by the Senate and the House. But I'm going to tell you what the Republicans said in the House. The hate crimes bill passed, I think it was 62 to 25. The Republicans literally stood up and they called the homeless bums that were murdered. You remember Michael Gagnon from Fort Lauderdale, the 3 guys that went out and beat him in the head with a baseball bat? He was a gay, homeless veteran. And they call them, what do we care about this? They're bums. All those people on this wall, they call them bums. This got to stop. And the leader of that, I'm going to say, and excuse me, I'm going to take personal privilege of Pride. This lady needs to stop. She's proud to call herself the Angel of Death. And she's running for state senate, and that's Ellen Bogdanoff. Thank you. Just remember that name. She's running against Kelly Skidmore. Kelly Skidmore fought in the Senate to make, fought in the House, and she says, how dare you call race, creed, color, sexual orientation, or gender bums. That's disgusting. And this got to stop. Thank you.
With that, I would like to bring up the incredible mayor of our city, Mr. Gary Resnick, please.
We're not celebrating anything. We're basically commemorating a tragic, horrible event. And while I appreciate the opportunity of doing this in Courtney's honor in Wilton Manors, I really think we need to bring this to the people of Polk County and to the people of Lakeland and let them know what's happening in their own neighborhoods and in their own towns. I'd be happy to go anywhere in the state that you'd like me to go to help your cause. And if it means taking this to the backyards of the people of Polk County, I'd be happy to do it.
Yes.
So, wow. But, I have a proclamation from the city of Wilton Manors. Whereas Courtney Bright, a vibrant 24-year-old girl in Polk County, was murdered, a hate crime based on her sexual orientation. And whereas we stand here tonight in her honor, thanks to the Gay American Heroes Foundation, which honor those who have been murdered because of their sexual orientation and to educate and raise awareness of these hate crimes. And whereas Gay American Heroes Foundation was founded in 2007 after 25-year-old Ryan Skipper, also a resident of Polk County, Florida, was murdered for being openly gay. And whereas Gay American Heroes Foundation, along with Atayam, the GLCC Pride Center of Greater Fort Lauderdale, parents, families, and friends of gays and lesbian, George's Alibi, New Moon, Rosie's Bar and Grill, as well as the City of Wilton Manors, and also numerous volunteers and supporters pay tribute to Courtney's memory. And whereas Gay American Heroes Foundation is recognized by thousands of individuals and organizations across the United States and continues to not only educate about lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transsexual members of society, but also such hate crimes and murders as Courtney Bright's, through outreach programs in high schools, colleges, and pride events across the nation. And whereas the City of Wilton Manors is humbled to have the Candlelight Vigil for Courtney Bright here in our city, now therefore, as we honor and remember Courtney Bright, and urge all of our community to honor her on this day, and also to celebrate and recognize the many positive contributions that the gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender community and their families and friends have made and continue to make in our society, I, Gary Resnick, Mayor of the City of Wilton Manors, Florida, do hereby proclaim Monday, May 10th, 2010, as Courtney Bright Day in the City of Wilton Manors. It's wonderful to honor the memory of these people and to do what we can to cause attention to these horrible, horrible murders and other hate crimes that occur. But we need to celebrate all the wonderful things that we're doing as well. And so, Stonewall is going to be coming up, and there's a lot of events coming up that are going to celebrate our community, and we just urge everybody to come back out and keep on fighting, because we still have a long way to go. Thank you so much.
Some words, Vice Mayor Justin Flippin, and I'm honored to have him here today. So Justin.
Thank you, Scott. Ladies and gentlemen, I am reminded of when I was in high school, and my civics instructor made us memorize a poem called The Hangman. And I'm not sure if folks here are familiar with this poem, but basically it talks about silence and not speaking up when one should. It recounts how a person was a member of a certain community and did not speak up when folks came after them because they didn't belong to a political party or a trade unionist, or you name the category that that person might have belonged to. And the gist of the poem was, at the end of the day, when they came for this person, there was no one left to speak for him or her. And we cannot be silent. We cannot be silent. We are here today to mourn the loss of a life taken from our community. And while we are certain to remember that life in our hearts, and as we walk down Wilton Drive and remember who this person was and who Courtney was, we cannot be silent beyond today. We have to have the courage to speak up, demand from those who represent us, from our leaders in our community, whether we are activists or whomever, that we deserve the right to life, liberty, and freedom cherished by all people in our nation and in our community. And Rabbi, if you'll forgive me, I tend to be known in our community as someone who often quotes words of Scripture, and it's because my faith was an extremely important part of me growing up. And we are reminded by Holy Writ that blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. And certainly the families of Courtney Bright and those who she touched with her life, her family and friends, they will be comforted, and so will we. It is our prayer that those families be comforted by divine love. But brothers and sisters, someday we will no longer have to gather at these vigils because of evil and hatred that has taken the lives of those in our community. But until that someday becomes today, we must remember Courtney and each life taken from us because of hate. In remembrance of them, we must actively work to eliminate the dangers such hatred and ignorance have rendered in our community. Courtney's right to life, our right to life, is as fundamental as it gets. The prophet Isaiah reminds us to do good and seek justice. Justice requires two things, ladies and gentlemen. First, anyone motivated by hatred to commit murder or any crime against another because of that person's sexual orientation, gender identity, race, religion, creed, or any other factor must be held accountable for the full measure of that crime committed. And second, I said it before as I began my statement this evening, although we may be silent during the Candlelight Vigil as a time of mourning, our voices must not remain silent. For Courtney Bright, for Matthew Shepard, for me, for you, for all of us, our voices must be united in a call for our lives and our freedoms to be protected and preserved. Thank you.
We had a 16-year-old teenager that was murdered on Tuesday. So, excuse me, Thursday. What is today? Monday. Murdered on Thursday in Scotland because he was gay. 16 years old. I have 5 gay murders in the last 5 weeks that I can discuss with you. And it's happening one every 9 days and one gay bashing every 6 hours. And we've got to address this problem. And we need to go into the communities and reach out and help those people that are living in fear and give them some kind of hope and protection. So with that, I'd like to bring up a person that fights for our rights every day, every place she goes, and she's just an amazing person, Carol Benowitz from PFLAG, who is also a board member of the Gay American Heroes Foundation.
We need your help tonight to fight homophobia. Will you help us? Yes. We all know that homophobia leads to hate crimes, like the murder of Courtney Bright, right?
Right.
We are nearly finished with our first phase of our traveling memorial, and we need your help tonight to finish this, so we can show it at Gay Days in Orlando in June. We have Gay American Heroes Foundation pins of Courtney Bright, and for a donation of $5 or more, you can get yourself a pin of Courtney or a different pin. Or if you'd like, please put a donation in our bucket, which I know many of you have. Thank you, thank you. Our needs are great. And we need a donation from you tonight to help us to complete this first phase of the memorial, because we really want to get it to Orlando in June, and you can help us. We believe that this memorial will be an educational tool, because it puts a face on those who were murdered by hate crimes. I mean, I feel so strongly with this. Please, please help us. Please give a donation. We thank you. We thank you for being here, and we love everybody. Thank you.
Before I read the names, I want to say thank you to everyone for showing up. The most important thing you can do is be visible, and you've done that. If you don't believe that this is an attack on our community, look at the faces over there. It's real. It's real. One after the other. There is no way that anyone can say that this is not an attack on the GLBT community. It's real. And I implore anybody that's walking by to take a moment to stop in and to find out what's going on. And I always tell Scott, we preach to the choir, and I want you to preach to the choir so your voice will be heard louder. So tell those you know who aren't here. I'm going to start with the first name. Ruby Ordinata, 24. Erica Keel, 21. Brett Turner, 48. Aaron Hall, 35. Roberto Pancho Dacanison, 20. Sean William Kennedy, 20. Mike Webb, 51. Satinder Singh, 26. That's 10 names.
Doctor, will you tell them what you do and why you support us?
I moved here 3 years ago to the most empowered gay community in the country. Nowhere do we have more supportive officials sitting in power in this country. And when I moved here, I heard of a gay bashing on a street corner. And I thought, no way. So those of you who think you're safe in your own home, you're not. And I consider this my home. My home is not my four walls, it's my community, it's my work, it's everything I do. I go to work every day and I work in a hospital as an acute care physician. I deal with the sickest of the sick. I don't ask why or where you came from or what you do. I save life. I save life. Save life. Donate. Help us create the memorial. It's going to save life. I know it is. It is going to be the national discussion to end hate in this country. When the families see the faces, and all of you know someone who's silently dealing with the bashing who's walking the street, I guarantee it. You don't want to ask because you don't want to know. It's uncomforting and unsettling. But anyway, I save lives. You have an opportunity to save a life. Let's make this happen. We're going to end hate in the United States of America.
I'm Paul Haddad with National Geographic from Washington, D.C.
Oh.
I'm also a survivor. Hi.
You're also a what?
I'm a survivor of a hate crime. Anyway.
Would you like to elaborate briefly? What happened?
My bullet wound. Want to see it? It was in Washington.
So you were shot?
These are my angels. Yes.
Oh. So you were shot?
Yes. I was shot. And I was 19. I'm 42 now. Anyway. Victoria Arellano, 23. Kenneth Cummings Jr., 46. Thalia Mosqueda, 34. Maribel Reyes, 37. Derek Williams, 22. Stephen Dahmer, 69. And Michael Lynn Merrick, 36. God bless them.
I'm Carrie Jo Anderson. I own a cleaning company. Alan J. Shilek, 76. Raymond Catolico, 39. Darlene Vander Giesen, 42. Maurice Green, 22. Charles Pointer, 43. Blaine Thacker Jr., 73. Frank Gonzalez, 43. Harry Hashaway, 43.
My name is Danny Apter, and I'm an educator who was out in the classroom and left so I can make a greater impact in the community.
Thank you.
Monica Delilo Corrales, 23. Julio Argueda, 35. Timothy Blair Jr., 22. Antonio Sidney Wright, 26. Alonzo Hogan, 34. Kevin Eugene Hale, 36. Wayne Smith, 17. Mikey Vallejo Sieber, 5. Lisa D, 42.
Hi, my name is Jahar Sanders, and I'm the founder and president of ENVI, which is National Voices for Equality, Education, and Enlightenment. Okay.
This is important, guys.
What my organization does is we are a new nonprofit based in Wilton Manors, and we help teens and families who've been victims of bullying, hate crimes, and other heinous acts of violence. So when you hear of a child that has been bullied or has had a heinous act committed against them, such as Josie Lou Riley, who is one of the families that we're helping now, we go in and we assist the families in things that they need, and we bridge the gap between the GLBT young community and the straight community, because the only way that they're going to learn to live together is if they come together and that they not stay segregated, because that it just doesn't work. History has proven it just doesn't work. So that's what my mission is, to do that. And in case you all, I don't want to make sure no one has forgotten, Broward County leads the state in hate crimes, and don't forget, Miami-Dade and Palm Beach ties for second. So it's really important that we get off that map. We don't want our numbers and our names up there. And if you think that it doesn't affect you, then it affects your neighbor or your brother or your sister or that long-lost cousin that you have not spoken to. So, and I had to spend Mother's Day in the hospital with one of our family members, well, not my family members, but one of the kids that we're helping, because that's, well, right, you're right, they are family members. But that's where we spent our Mother's Day, my organization. After we had our fundraiser at Courtyard Cafe, we went to the hospital and spent Mother's Day with the family. And finding out that a girl has to learn how to walk again, how to read, to learn her colors and things like that, it is heartbreaking.
She was beaten up?
She was beaten up and stomped in the head, just brutally attacked. And just everyone just stood by and watched. So please, in bystanderism, being a bystander just does not work. You see something happening, think, this could be me or my kid or my mom or dad. Okay. So, Rashawn Brazil, 19. Leon Paul Lorette, 22. Eddie Michelle Chong Cho Lee, 42. Jason Gage, 29. Marvin Page, 52. August Terrell Watkins, 31. Kurt Michelle Cunningham, 23. Ashley Nixon, 30.
Hello everyone. My name is Sister Sophia. I am part of the Sisters of the Rising Sun, which is a missionary order of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. We were founded many, many years ago, and we are always there for the community, which is what we do. We're all volunteers, and we just want to give back. And if you can see, we bring a little bit of attention, which is what we all have to do, and we speak our minds and express ourselves a little bit more colorful, I guess, probably, with makeup and everything. Thank you. And it's interesting, and I do apologize that I'm making a little this longer, but while I was reading the names, my family hid from me that I had an uncle that was killed in Puerto Rico about 2 decades ago. He was raped in the street with a broomstick. Sorry for the details. And just because he was gay, he was gonna buy milk from, I guess, for his grandmother. And it was interesting that it was hidden from me that he died that way. And now that I'm realizing while reading these names, I'm like, wow, I have one in my family, and I almost became one a long time ago before I was in seminary to become a priest for the Catholic Church before I was kicked out for being, well, homosexual. And I almost got beat up while in robes, and God bless, a priest was passing by and saw what was going on. And I ran to his car and we left. If it would have been for that priest friend of mine, which is also a gay member, I probably wouldn't be here. So it's an honor to be here, and thank you so much. In the names: Arnulfo Aguilar, 43. Martin Salinas. Sorry. Martin Salinas, 39. Michael Sandy, 28. John Canora, 55. Emery Lane, MD, 75. Stephen Ataha, 46. Terry Graham, 52.
My name is AJ Cross, and I've been in the nightclub industry for about 10 years in South Florida. I actually met Scott at the press conference for the death of Simi Williams, who I was personally acquainted with. At the time, I owned the Black Banana, and we actually were participants in her burial. And that was my first awakening to how dangerous the nightlife can be. I see a different side of it. I see the dancing and the music and the drinking and other things I can't mention. But what you don't see is what happens when the clubs close and the lights turn off, and you have a 19-year-old, 21-year-old gay person walking the streets by themselves, and they're attacked and then brutally murdered. I made a commitment then, and I still follow through with it, that I think that a responsibility as a nightclub operator is not just to take money from the community and to have parties and do all the fun things we do, but to do everything we can to keep those people safe when they're headed home, to make sure that they know that we care for more than just the dollar they're giving us, but that they keep coming back to us, happy and safe. And I commend you, Scott, for everything you've done since I met you that day. And I think he deserves a round of applause also. That day he told me, I'm going to do this. I have a mission. And I thought, you know, everybody's got a mission. There's about 1,000 nonprofits in the state of Florida. And he came one day on his skateboard, and he skated up to me, and he says, this is going to happen. It's going to be real. And it started off with maybe 2 or 3 pictures. I can't even count how many pictures are here right now.
There's over 100 here, and there'll be hundreds of more that we have.
So we have hundreds and hundreds, and that's not a tribute, that's a tragedy. Danny Overstreet, 43. Craig Season, 46. Christina Smith, 20. Casima de la Juanda, 60. Michael Barrett, 20. Samuel Lay, 28. Barry Nilsson, 48. Donathan J. Rogers, 19. That's tragic, 19. Chris DeVille, 40. Thank you.
Rabbi Novak Diddy.
Thanks, Scott. As a representative of an ancient religious tradition, I am saddened whenever I hear the claim that it's religion's fault that people are murdered, that people are hurt. And it's not the fault of religion. It's the fault of those blasphemers who take our holy and beautiful words to twist them and use them and then claim that it was God that gave them permission to hate. God does not give anyone permission to hate. I'd like to read a poem that is a prelude to the Mourner's Kaddish. The Mourner's Kaddish is a prayer that we say at the end of every service. It's directed to those who have lost someone dear to them or lost a member of their community. It does not speak of death at all. It speaks of life. It speaks of belief in God as our creator and the one who loves us. When a soldier in the forces of a ruler of flesh and blood falls, that ruler hardly knows that one is missing. If one soldier is slain, there are others to replace that one. But our ruler, the creator of the universe, the Holy One who is to be blessed, desires life, loves peace, and pursues peace. When one is missing, a diminishing and lessening takes place. There is a decline of strength. Therefore, we pray after each death, Yitgadal v'Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah. May the power of the name be magnified, and may no lessening of power come to the Holy One, who is blessed and sanctified in the world which was created according to the holy will. Therefore, O brothers and sisters of the whole world, all you who participate in this mourning, let us turn our hearts to the Holy One, our ruler.
We were wondering to know, what's it like to have an event like this in your city?
Well, you know, on one hand, you know, I feel fortunate that I can get so many people in my city interested in the plight of people like Courtney Bright, and, you know, make them aware of what's going on and make them want to care about it. You know, so I'm happy to host these events, and I've done it many times, and I do it all the time if it's necessary. As I said, I think it's important that we go to the homes and the neighborhoods and in people's backyards where these awful crimes are occurring. And unfortunately, that's all over the country now. It's not just in Florida, and it's not just in the middle of Florida. These things happen everywhere, and I think we need to bring home to people that some beautiful
wonderful lives are being cut short for no reason whatsoever, absolutely no basis.
So I even heard that you were ready to go out to other parts of the state to sort of spread this message and help out with this agenda.
Well, I'm fortunate. I'm on the board of the Florida League of Cities, which represents all 410 municipalities throughout the state. And so I have relationships with many, many colleagues throughout the state, with many mayors and many city officials throughout the state. And I'd be happy to, they've been very accepting of me, and they know that I'm an out gay elected official, they know that I'm an out gay mayor and my partner, and they accept me and my partner in our relationship. And I'd be happy to work with them to try and increase awareness in their community. And we've had some success, like for example, Gainesville just elected an openly gay mayor, and I helped by getting the support of the outgoing mayor who was term limited.
How did you do so?
Just
I'm sorry, I missed that part.
Yeah, no, by knowing her for years and years and years. I've known Pegeen for years as the mayor of Gainesville. We're both on the board of directors of the Florida Association of Mayors, which is a smaller group of the League of Cities. And we've worked together for many years, and she's fortunate. She's the mayor of Gainesville, which is a fairly liberal community, and she's had support, and she supported the person running who was the openly gay candidate. So it's just, whatever I can do to just improve the lives of all of our communities, I'd like to do that.
Well, I think you're doing a wonderful job so far. I think the turnout today has been pretty good. Are you going to be taking a candle up the street with us as well?
Yeah, I'll try to walk up the street if I can catch them. They walk faster than me. But it may not have been a large turnout, but it still increases awareness, and programs like yours can reach, especially now in the social media age, this can reach 1 million people, you never know. So this can go viral and 5 million people will see this. So it still brings awareness, and even if we don't have 100,000 people standing here for something like this, it still makes people aware that there's causes out there that they need to be concerned about.
Well, that certainly is our hope. Well, thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you.
It's really been a pleasure. Thank you.